What up again? Just decided to make a YouTube ranking because a new CD that just came in from online orders. It's the new during this time, and just wanted to rank all 12 Deicide albums. Just leave it there. I'm gonna rank all 12 Deicide albums. This is the first Deicide ranking on YouTube. Never been done on YouTube. Don't really know how other people stand on these albums. I know some of them that people don't like. Some of them are... There's 3 albums I don't really like to listen to. It's more of like... I had to listen to them for this ranking. I didn't really enjoy them too well. Number 12, or one that I have a copy of because I have a big stack of Deicide albums over here, because I do own a lot of their physical copies. Number 12 is In Torment in Hell. Yeah, a really big step down from their 2000 album. This one came out a year later. It is a very big step down. I give it like a 4 out of 10, I think. It's just not that... There's some good songs on here, but it's just not as good as some of their other stuff in the discography, and it really does suffer through the album. Number 11 is Scars of the Crucifix. This one's a 6 out of 10. Same deal with this one; it just suffers through it. It's the last one with the Hoffmans. There's stuff like Mad at God, Fuck Your God, When Heaven Burns. There's some okay tracks on here. It's not the all-time best one. And then let's go to number 10, which is their newest release, which is Overtures of Blasphemy from 2018. Can't tell. I had the Spotify open in the background because I can't remember shit. It's pretty bad. I don't have a good memory for shit. It's okay. It's more of like a 6 out of 10, just like the other one. That one is at number 10. Number 9, or one that I have a copy of, and I keep putting my controller down instinctively, would be the one that just came in, the copy that just came in, Legion, their 1992 albums. Their 1992 album. Satan Spawn, the CACO Demon, Dead by Dreamin'. There's some good ones on here. 8 out of 10. It's their second album. I just don't think it's as good as their first or third album would be. It's near the bottom of the list because, well, I don't really care for some of the songs on this album. I know a lot of people love this album. I consider it a classic, but really don't listen to it all that much. It's one that I don't really listen to. Let's go to number 8, The Stench of Redemption. Really like some songs in here like Homage for Satan and The Stench of Redemption. It's just sounds like common death metal. It's a 9 out of 10. The Legion was 8 out of 10. This one's 9 out of 10. It sounds like common death metal. This is when Jack Owens was on guitar, the first one without the Hoffmans. So it's better than their one previous from that and previous from that one, but it's not up to par with their original ones. Except Legion. It's better than Legion. Definitely. Next one is another one I own on a copy. It's To Hell with God. To Hell with God, the title track. Yeah, it's fast, it's heavy, it's everything you'd want with a death metal album. It's a 9 out of 10, just like the previous one. but it's from 2012. The guitars are like the newer form of Deicide, which is better than the In Torment in Hell and Scars of the Crucifix, but not as good as their old stuff. So it just falls mid-tier. Of course, it falls mid-tier. Can't really say much more about it. Just don't. I listened to it a little while ago. So yeah, number 6, Till Death Do Us Part from 2008. This one has more of a corpse grinder style to vocals. Like it. I like the style of vocals. Like how it's more less doesn't sound as painful to do than some of the other ones. Definitely, the beginning of the end is definitely a good song. The cover art's amazing. Everything about it's amazing. I don't really consider it a 10 out of 10 yet. We'll get to number 5, which is a 10 out of 10. But this is a step in the right direction. Good album. A good put together. Like, really. Next one is one that I own a copy of. As you would know, I own a copy of this album because that was in the album's collection video, which is Deicide's first self-titled release with Sacrificial Suicide, Lunatic of God's Creation, one of my least favorite songs on this album. Oblivious to Evil, Dead by Dawn, Blasphemerion, Deicide, Carnage in the Temple, the Damned, the Philosopher. I don't know how to say that. The Day of Darkness and Crucifixion. It's a step in. It's the breakout album. It's the start of this wonderful band. It's the start of the best, the golden age of Deicide. The first album started it completely off, and it went up until 2000. Great stuff on here. Great heavy death metal. Love it. It's a classic. Next one is another one that would be at the bottom of usual people's lists, but, well, Incinerate Him. I actually like this album because it has the rhyming style of their previous releases. Bible Basher's got to be one of the best songs in ever. Standing in Flames, Halls of Worship, Worst Enemy, Apocalyptic Fear, Refusal of Penance, which is a great song. All of it's just satanic blasphemy, awesome blasphemy. Like, as you would know, I like that style of death metal since I'm wearing the Nunslaughter shirt. But this album is amazing. 10 out of 10, just like the self-titles 10 out of 10. If I didn't say that already, these ones and above are 10 out of 10. So yeah, number 3. A lot of people wouldn't put this one here, but In the Midst of Evil, 2013. A kind of a throwback album. It sounds like old Deicide. It sounds actually more thrashy than a normal death metal album. Sounds like it has some of the thrash metal stuff in it, but the riffs go with the vocals. The vocals are crisp, nice. Just gives it the whole good feeling. Love it. Love every song on this album. God Kill, In the Midst of Evil Thou Be Gone, Beyond Salvation, Misery of One, Between the Flesh and the Void, Even the Gods Can Bleed, Trample the Cross, Fallen in Silence, Kill the Light of Christ, and Into the Wrath of God. Oh, it's definitely a game changer album for this band, and they didn't really use the momentum to do anything with the overtures of blasphemy like this. They should have continued on with the same style they did with this, but then their lineup changed, and they lost Jack Owens on guitar. Jack Owens didn't return for the next album, which, if he did, I bet it would be completely better than what it was. Oh, number 2. Number 2. I have both copies of these last two, and you probably know which ones, but you don't know which order they're in. Number 2, Once Upon the Cross, or the, in other people's books, the downfall of Deicide, which is not true. If you listen to the actual lyrics of this album, look at the lyrics, the lyric books, and everything else, these songs rhyme completely. The tracks, the end of the line rhymes with the other end of the line, and it's completely amazing all the way through. Favorite one on here is Trick or Betrayed. The line with, what is it? Rip up their Bible before it's too late is definitely one of the greatest lines of death metal I've ever heard. I like that lyric. Once upon the cross, Christ denied, when Satan rules this world, kill the Christian. They are the children of the underworld, beyond the light thou shalt rise, to be dead in confessional rape. Pretty good. 10 out of 10. Would not put it on the best albums of all time, but still makes the 10 out of 10 number 2 release. That just leaves one. That just leaves one of the best album of all time. The best album in metal of all time. My favorite album to listen to. The album I've listened to over 1,000 times. Which is Serpents of the Light. The greatest Deicide album, or the greatest death metal album ever made. This is by far the greatest album ever made. The opening track, Serpent of the Light, is one of my favorite songs ever. Bastard of Christ, Blame It on God. This is Hell We're In, I Am No One, Slave to the Cross, Creatures of Habit, Believe the Lie, The Truth Above, and Father Baker. Continues on with the rhyming style, doesn't end with the rhyming style until In Torment in Hell, which, you know, that's my least favorite. But they can never live up to the hype of this, or the absolute amazing masterpiece this album is. The guitars are crisp, the drums are crisp, everything is good, everything is heavy, and the vocals are clear as day. You could hear exactly what he's saying, and you could tell exactly what Glenn is saying in the album. It is just by far the best death metal album ever made. There's no question about that. I love it. I love this album. I wish the long sleeves didn't go for so much online, or I would probably want to wear a long sleeve of this album. And it's probably the coolest artwork too. Everything about this album is kick-ass. There's nothing that'll ever compare to this Serpents of Light. Nothing they could do could ever make any other album my favorite. And Once Upon the Cross is actually pretty good too, so I'm saying that right now. Once Upon the Cross is pretty good as well. I keep having to... Okay. The beginner metal video will be up shortly. I'm just working on that one. Need to get a little more towards it. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. Subscribe, like the video, and check out my Instagram and Twitter page. Can't say enough. Getting discovered on YouTube is hard.